Hello, beautiful people on the internet. Today we're going to be talking about the feeling of not feeling enough as an artist and also being afraid to be seen and to do things for yourself. In the video I posted last week, I mentioned that I was doing the artist way. I'm on my week 2, but this video is very inspired by something I've been writing about from the first week. It's quite an universal feeling, and I know it's not a feeling that it's only related in the art field, but today we're going to be talking about it in that kind of aspect. While doing the artist way, I'm doing it in this notebook. I'm writing my 3 morning pages in here, and also the writing tasks that the book says you should be doing on each week. By doing this, I wrote down something on my phone notes app that is very fitting for today's video and today's topic, so I'm gonna read it to you. Something about art and being an artist in this modern world feels like a blessing yet a curse. The feeling of not being enough lives in the back of my mind, and that feeling is alive when my ego scrolls through apps trying to find the next thing to obsess over and to ask the same questions over and over again. When did the act of sharing become such a thing, especially in the art field? Why I'm not enough? I've always made these questions to myself, trying to find the key answer to finally get rid of this. But actually, I should be asking myself to who I'm trying to be enough to. Because at the end of the day, I've noticed that my problem is not with external approbation, but my own. It's me who I'm always trying to impress, and that's why the feeling really never leaves. I'm trying to seek my own validation. But when I truly think about it, everything I've ever accomplished as a person and as an artist has come from the deepest of my soul, from the purest place I can find in myself. So I really don't think I'm able to even set a bar to start the conversation of comparison with anyone beside me. I've decided to stop thinking like this, because to me being an artist means to search for the thing you're seeking within yourself. And I always feel complete when I find my way to materialize my craft into something real. I don't want to care anymore if I'm not enough to the imposed ego that lives in the back of my head, as long as I'm enough to my truest self. I wrote this piece on a day I was being very hard on myself, and I was being really mean to my art. It's really hard sometimes to just trust the process and trust yourself, especially if you are learning a new skill or new topics about something, because you are so new to that thing that obviously you're not going to do it perfectly until you have done it so many times that it almost feels natural. That actually had been happening to me all the journey I've been trying to learn, and I've been trying to do music and find my own way as an artist and listening really closely to what I want to tell and what I have inside of me. So with this, what I want to project to you is you are enough, and you are the only person who stops you from doing what you want to do. You have to be your number one fan, even if anyone believes in you, because we tend to take what other people feel about us very personal, and we transform that into our reality. And if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. That's why you have the power to keep going. I know it's something very difficult to do. It's very easy to say than done, but nothing is impossible, and every person you admire has to start with this first step, which is believing in themselves. Some days are going to be harder than others, and that's perfectly fine, but you shouldn't put more stones in your way, because you're the only one who can stop you. And if you don't want to stop and you want to keep pursuing your journey, you will do so, even though anyone believes in you. This topic is very aligned with the other thing I want to talk about, which is being afraid to be seen and to do things for yourself. Most of the time, not feeling enough, it's very aligned with being afraid to be seen. It's totally normal to not want to put yourself out there into the unknown because you're afraid. But if you really want to make art and put in your craft out there so other people can see you or relate to what you're doing, or create a small community, or for any reason you have to put yourself out there, if you don't do that because you're afraid, that's also very aligned to the feeling of not feeling enough, because you don't trust yourself enough to put your craft into the world. I don't have all the tools to tell you how to stop being afraid of this, but I can share with you things I've done to try to be a little bit less afraid. Number one is you shouldn't pressure yourself into doing something that you feel like you're not prepared, but also you shouldn't wait to have the perfect moment to do them, because those moments can only exist because you create them. Number two, I encourage you to show your craft to people you love. You don't have to show it to 15 people. Only to show it to one person can be very beneficial to feeling that moment of sharing your work with someone outside of you. And I'm going to be honest with you. When you feel prepared to share your art with someone you love, a friend, a family member, and a stranger, maybe, don't take personal if they don't support your art 100%, because maybe they are not the person you are making art for. So don't expect that everyone is going to be rooting for you, even though you feel like that's what other people should do. Not everyone is the same, and I bet you are creating art because you want to, not expecting anyone to like it. You have to be prepared for that, because maybe they are not your audience, and that's fine. You have to be prepared to experience this kind of uncomfortable situations, because that will help you in the future to not seek external validation, especially from the people you love, and not conditioning the way you make art so other people can enjoy it instead of you. It's a little bit complicated, and I know that it's not a lovely thing to experience, but it's something that you will experience eventually, because in this journey you will have your audience, and that can be only yourself, and that's fine, and people who won't like what you do, but that doesn't make you less. That just means that they are not the people you are doing your art for. And number three is to do things for yourself and for your art instead of doing that with company. And with this I mean, as humans we love company, and we love to share moments with our friends, and sometimes we want to share our artist journey so much with friends, especially if you're lucky enough to have artistic friends, that sometimes we can kind of slow our process just because we're sharing it with someone else. So with this, I'm trying to encourage you to have moments with yourself. And this is also very inspired by The Artist Way, because the book encouraged you to have a date with yourself. For example, in my first week, the date that I have with myself was going to the museum. I especially wanted to go to one that I've never been before, and in my case it was the Natural Science National Museum, and I went alone, okay? And I don't know what I was expecting, but I was shocked. For context, I am someone who feels very uncomfortable with death. And in the EP I'm working, I'm discussing topics such as that. So I went to this museum to try to combat a little bit my fear of this. That's why it was very difficult for me to go alone. And even though I had a hard time the first minutes, I managed to visit the whole museum and trying to write down my feelings and the things that I was experiencing while watching those animals right there. And for my surprise, I felt very inspired to write a song about these feelings, and that it's very related to the P I'm working on. So at the end of the day, fighting my fear and going alone had helped me in my journey as an artist, and to make something I probably never thought of doing. So with this, I just wanted to share with you that these feelings are very universal. You are not alone, and being afraid is normal, but you shouldn't let the fear take over your life, and you should know that it won't go away, and sometimes you will have to do things with that fear in the back of your mind. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and if you want to share with me something that you have done lately that you were afraid of but you managed to do, please be free to share that with me, because I would love to read it. Thank you for sharing these minutes with me, and see you around.